Hello everyone, how are you? Here what happened on Friday Night SmackDown main event wrestling fans for the first night of the 24 WWE draft. I'll get to the draft, what I thought of it after the matches. The opening segment on SmackDown was interesting as a contract signed between Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, a phenomenal one. No fists were thrown, nobody got put through a table, nobody got hit with the title belt, nothing like that. Because every other contract signing, shit happens. This one, they just exchanged words, signed, and left. That was cool. The opening match was confusing. On the graphic screen, it showed both teams in LWO as a tag match. I'm like, 8-man tag, that's going to be awesome. Nope, instead it was Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee with Carlito and Selena Vega ringside against Humberto and Garza. Really fast-paced match. Dragon Lee took in Humberto Carrillo, jumping off the ropes, taking him down. Then he went off the ropes, and Garza pulled the ropes open, and Dragon Lee had a nasty bump on the outside. They isolated Dragon Lee for a couple seconds. Then he rolled, did a cut roll into a barrel roll and tagged in Rey Mysterio. Mysterio had a top rope, sit down swanton on Garza, sunset flip into a powerbomb, 619 him. Garza spun around into a hurricanrana takedown from Dragon Lee for the 1-2-3. After the match, Santos Escobar and Hector Lopez walked out on stage and announced that they have video proof he was not the one that attacked Dragon Lee the SmackDown before WrestleMania, take him out of his WrestleMania debut match. It showed it. It was Carlito. I was right all along, folks. Let me know below if you thought it was Carlito as well, or do you think it was going to be somebody else unexpected? But nope, it was Carlito. He's busted. It showed him attacking Dragon Lee backstage. And the way he did it, Dragon Lee could not see who was attacking him because he attacked him from behind. Then he walked through a door, came back out, and ran over. It's like, oh man, are you okay, right? To make it look like I just found you. He shoved down Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and his ass went running through the crowd. He's busted. Carlito's out of the LWO now. Will he join the LWO heel faction? Or is he just going to be a single superstar from now on? Let me know below in the comments. Where do you think Carlito's going to end up? LWO heels or singles? We had Bayley came out, guest commentator, and she announced that the following match, Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi, the winner will face her at Backlash for her SmackDown Women's Championship. Really good match between these two women. I love this now. Every time Naomi did a move, like stiff forearm shots, kick strikes, hit the rear view, bulldog with the corner. Every time she did a move, the fans booed her big time. Tiffany Stratton, every time she did a move, like the hip attack, knee to the gut, clotheslines, she got cheered. Suddenly, Nia Jax attacked. Nia Jax was drafted to SmackDown. I'll get to that. She attacked Bayley, slammed her down. Naomi was getting ready to hit the split leg moonsault on Tiffany Stratton off the ropes, but Tiffany rolled out of the ring. So Naomi jumped off the ropes. But instead of jumping off the ropes to attack Nia Jax, she jumped off the ropes and crawled through the ropes to attack Nia Jax while she was still beating up Bayley. Could have moved there faster than Naomi. Nia Jax picked her up, power slammed her down the outside, and then she left. Tiffany Stratton's like, I got an idea. I'm going to roll both women in the ring. Just like I did last week, and hit that top rope moonsault of both of them. Then she posed again with the championship and flexed her muscles. Backstage, Nick Aldis announced that since there was no clear winner, even though technically Naomi would have won by disqualification because Nia Jax put her hands on her, it's going to be a triple threat at Backlash for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's going to be a good match. Braun Breaker, within like 2 seconds, beat Cedric Alexander with a spear. This is bullshit. Braun Breaker, former NXT World Champion, former NXT Tag Team Champion, having amazing matches on NXT for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Now he's up on the main roster, and he's going downhill. I thought between him and Cedric Alexander, like this would be a good 10, 15-minute match, not a 2-minute spectacular squash, nothing bullshit shit. The main event was Cody Rhodes against Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes was drafted. He came out, and since Cody Rhodes was announcing who was drafted to SmackDown round 1, and the opening after the contract signing of the first match there, that Carmelo Hayes came out, issued a challenge. Amazing main event these guys put on, folks. Gotta check it out. Cody Rhodes, Carmelo Hayes with bell ring. They charged at each other. Started changing forearm shots, beating each other's asses down. It was so fast-paced, you could not miss a beat at all. And it was like, wow. Kamehameha came off the ropes with that huge clothesline he does. And as Cody got up, he bounced off the opposite ropes, DDT'd his ass down. Cody answered back with a disaster kick off the ropes, bounced off the opposite ropes, hit a moonsault on Kamehameha. Kamehameha got up, he bounced off, hit a Cody cutter. Those free moves, and Kamehameha kicked out every single one of them. That was huge. Kamehameha, so I sneezed there. He was getting fired back up, German suplex Cody. Punch combo, Cody answered back, punching him in the corner, chopping him in the corner. Back body dropped him out of the opposite corner after he always whipped him into it. Cody went for crossroads. Kamehameha flipped over. He went for crossroads. Cody flipped over, counter that. Both guys bounced off the opposite ropes. I think they were supposed to collide and they overshot each other or something. Or this was meant to happen, but when they landed, Cody landed bad. He landed on his shoulder. He quickly grabbed a hold of it. He was in pain. The referee, you could see the referee run over, checked on Cody, said, "You sure you're okay?" Cody shook his head, yes, got up, and Kamehameha went for the top rope leg drop. Cody dodged it, crossroads, picked up the win. After the match, Cody was celebrating, but every time he held, like the referee held the injured arm up, Cody would grab hold of it. Every time he held up the championship title, every time, he's raising his arms up, he was holding on to that hurt shoulder. And you could tell it was bothering him big time. Suddenly, as he came off the top rope, as he had to celebrate, AJ Styles was ready to ambush him. But Cody Rhodes spun around just in time to see, and AJ's like, "I was this close, man." Then he left. I hope Cody's not injured. That's going to be a huge downfall if he's injured. Next week on SmackDown. The two segments happened last night. For some weird reason, the Office of Pain attacked Pete Dunne tied the bait by a production truck. No explanation why whatsoever. So they're going to have a tag match next week on SmackDown. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller found out that champions are safe on the show they're on. They can't be drafted. They're bragging about that when the Street Profits walked up. It's like, you guys know you guys can still lose your tag team championships, right? You're safe from being drafted. Doesn't mean you can't lose those belts to us next week because they won the Fatal 4-Way the week before. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller realized this. They took off running. Street Profits DFAB just laughed about it. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga arrived in their Hummer, got out. Kevin Owens attacked him, beat the shit out of him backstage. And what I liked about this was he attacked Solo, then he attacked Tonga. And they went back to Solo, back and forth, right? So they couldn't get the numbers game on him. They ended up brawling out into the ring. And then the numbers game caught up with Kevin Owens. 2-on-1 beatdown to Randy Orton, attempted to make the save. He walked down to the ring, took down the Bloodline with two moves, and the Bloodline took off. I'm like, well, the time he got down there, they're basically done beating the crap out of Kevin Owens. Like, come on, Randy, if you're going to make the save, run down there. I know you're old, man. I know you ain't got it in the tank no more, but you got at least to be able to run down that ring some more, faster. So next week, going to be a talking segment between them, and then a Backlash. They're facing each other in a tag match, which should be very good. There you have it on SmackDown for matches. Definitely check out Cody versus Camille Hayes, Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. The other two matches were letdowns. A main event, Arvar took on Apollo Crews. Now, I know Sarah Logan hasn't been in Arvar's corner recently. That's because she's pregnant. Congratulations to Sarah Logan and her husband, Eric, of the Viking Raiders. Get well soon, Eric, so you can come back into the fold with Arvar. So Arvar went at it alone against Apollo Crews. Bell rang. Apollo, jump up, drop kick, stun Arvar. Sent him outside, hit a slingshot plunge out to the outside. Splash in the corner. German suplexed him out of the corner, standing moonsault. Arvar's like, I had enough of this. Spin kick, sit down powerbomb. Picked him up, wore a stronger slam off the middle rope for the 1-2-3. Arvar picked up the win. Another match was the Creed Brothers against Gallus. Members Wolfgang and Mike Coffey with Joe Coffey ringside. This was a good match. Could have been better. The Creeds did the signature. I could do something. You could do something better. Like one guy hit a stand moonsault. The other guy hit a stand moonsault. Back body drop. But like back and forth. Gallus isolated Brutus. Kept him with chain locks and that. Yeah, so they isolated Brutus with chin locks, kept him grounded. He finally got up, tagged in Julius Creed, did a signature overhead suplexes, like 3 or 4 in a row, each member of Gallus. The Gallus ended up hitting a double team. It was kind of like a double team. Jinder Mahal's clutch slam. Brutus made the save. Brutus ball off uppercut. Back body drop. Combo off the top rope. Onto Mike Coffey for the 1-2-3. Joe Coffey didn't even do nothing to try to help his team out. Now on to the draft. The first two picks, okay, the draft rule stated that if you're a champion, you're staying on that brand. So, Damian Priest, Awesome Truth, Becky Lynch, and Sami Zayn are staying on Raw because they're the champions. Asuka and Kairi Sane, since they're the women's tag team champions, are still able to wrestle on all three brands until they lose the titles. And wherever they lose the titles at, if it's on the Raw or SmackDown or NXT, they're staying on that brand. But what happens if they lose on a pay-per-view? Does that mean they go to the brand that the other team was from? That's kind of confusing, that part. So SmackDown kept Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, Bayley, and Cody Rhodes. Cody's over on SmackDown. Now, the first opening draft picks were made from Triple H and Cody Rhodes. These were awesome because they weren't predictable. They were shockers. SmackDown's number one draft pick was Bianca Belair. That threw me off. The whole entire draft pool, which, by the way, the intro picture shows who could be drafted night one of the draft there. And you draft Bianca. That was a shocker. I'm like, okay, this draft's going to be interesting. Raw answered back with main event Jey Uso as the opening draft pick. That was cool. SmackDown answered back calling up NXT's Carmelo Hayes. That was an awesome pick. And Raw answered back by keeping Seth Rollins, which was predictable because Becky was already going to be staying on Raw. Because they're husband and wife and they don't like to separate them on opposite brands anymore. The second round draft picks were made from Tori Wilson was picking for Raw, Michelle McCool, Undertaker's wife, was for SmackDown. SmackDown wasted the pick. They picked Randy Orton. And I backfired because Raw answered back with Braun freaking Breaker. I was hoping Braun will eventually have been news right on SmackDown, but why pick Randy Orton as your third overall draft pick? That SmackDown screwed up there. Raw capitalized with Braun Breaker. SmackDown answered back no with Nia Jax. She's moving from Raw to SmackDown, so that was a huge pick for SmackDown. Raw decided to keep Liv Morgan. The third round was Bubba Ray representing SmackDown, Devon representing Raw. But SmackDown decided to keep LA Knight, Solo, and Tama Tonga and Paul Heyman in the third round draft picks. Raw decided to keep Ricochet and Sheamus. I was disappointed because I wanted both those guys to go to SmackDown. The final picks on live TV was SmackDown was picked by Theodore Long. JBL announced the picks from Raw. AJ Styles stayed on SmackDown. Alpha Academy stayed on Raw. The final two last picks was shockers. SmackDown drafted from Raw Andrade Cien Nick Aldis got his wish because he wanted him on that show. Raw ended SmackDown calling up an NXT superstar that was unexpected. Kaden James. This is huge for her. Kaden James reminds me of a female version of the IRS. She's got money. She carries a briefcase. She hits people with it, or sometimes a loaded purse. She's going to Raw. That was huge. They talked to her because on the Performance Center, all the NXT superstars were there on chairs. She put on a Raw hat because they had Raw or SmackDown hats to give the superstars, and she said, "I'm shocked. Like, wow." Roxanne Perez was like, "I'm not drafted at night one from NXT. Kaden James is." So the draft picks, what I liked about it was this cool like superstars like the Dudley Boys, JBL, Fredo Long, Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, Triple H, Cody. They made the picks instead of the general managers. It was cool to have the general manager even do some picks, but it's still cool having like Hall of Famers and old people, like old timers, soon to be Hall of Famers make the picks. What I didn't like was they're keeping people on the show, right? Like, the draft should be, you're drafting one person from one brand to the other brand every round, mixing it up. You got a few surprises, a couple, like one or two switches. Nia Jax, Adrian Cien and Braun Breaker switch shows. That was it. That was kind of disappointing. I wish there was more changes. Now, after SmackDown went off the air, on SmackDown Lowdown, some more picks happened. Raw kept Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks. They took from SmackDown Eye of the Fire, which is Kaylee Ray and Arda Dawn. They haven't done, SmackDown hasn't even had them in a match for almost a year. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with them on Raw. SmackDown decided to keep Cedric Alexander and the final member of Hit Row, Adonis, there as their new tag team. They're staying on SmackDown. He also picked from NXT Baron freaking Corbin. Way to go, SmackDown. Picking up Baron Corbin. There you have, folks. They say that by 2 sweet bye.